Happy Sunday, remnants out there, remnant world. How are you? How is everyone? Welcome back. We're back.
Mm,
Here I go running my mouth. I'm nervous. Y'all know how nervous I get when it
don't be
comes to
nervous.
these conversations. I'll try. Thanks. Okay, great. So we are no, I'm not even gonna waste time. You already know what the topic is. Can I ever forgive myself? So, why is this a topic? So, I was thinking, right? I was thinking about my past and some of the things that I've gone through in my past. And what popped out was how, once upon a time, in order for me to move from this particular type of hurt to healing, it involved self forgiveness. And I'll never forget, it was a discussion that I had with a pastor. And he mentioned self forgiveness. And it's so funny. I'll never forget. I'm sitting there like, you ever seen the movies and then you like hear mosquitoes or bugs like I didn't even know that there was a such thing as self forgiveness. But only God knows that once that happened, I felt I felt a form of freedom. It was a cycle that I was going through in life, and it actually stopped it. That was actually a form of healing for me. And then I was wondering, I wonder how many people, out there, when they hear of the topic self forgiveness, they too hear crickets, or they're like, oh my God, what's that? Or talk less of how important it is for healing, how important it is to move on and let go and all of that good stuff. So that is why we're here. I have my lovely friends, okay, Marianne and Tasha. There will be others that join later on, um, but the show must go on,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Yeah. So you want to, ladies, you want to introduce yourself, because you two have never been on Speaking Our Truth. So can you tell the lovely remnants out there who you are, please?
Go ahead, Miss Tasha.
Oh, I thought we were going to go in alphabetical order. Okay. Hi, all. I am Tasha R. Williams. I'm a friend of Nora's. We share a beautiful friend in common, our really good girlfriend, Tiffany. And I am a mother, a wife, a daughter, sister, and a friend. I'm a performer. I'm an actress, singer, dancer, choreographer, producer, director, currently involved in a
Yeah.
YouTube series called Dining with Nadiva. That is my current project. And you can find us on YouTube. The show drops tonight at 8 o'clock. Just saying. Shameless.
Plug.
That's who
Awesome.
I am. Do you want more than that?
No, we
Okay.
that's good. Your turn, Marianne.
Maybe I should have gone first, but a lot to follow. Um, my name is Marianne, and I am a friend and sister of Nora. We currently are attending the same home church, Kingsgate Church. Plug for them because they are amazing. And I am currently a daughter, a sister, a friend, an
Soon to be
ear,
wife.
soon to be wife,
Yeah.
future mother. um, just really involved at the church, wherever the Lord would put me. Any ministry He wants to put me in, I make myself available.
Nice.
And it's just about being a servant and devoting and being intentional with my time for Him.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. Again, we have a few other guests that will be joining, but we had to come and be here for you. So, self forgiveness, y'all. Before getting into the self forgiveness part, I wanted to find out from you, ladies, what does forgiveness even mean to you, before we even talk directed it towards us. And I know this is something that different people, based on, I guess, culture, religious background, different backgrounds, they have their own perception of what forgiveness is. So I'm putting that on the floor first. What does forgiveness mean to you, ladies?
Well, to me, forgiveness is forward moving. It allows you to take in events, things, people who have hurt you, that you've hurt, events where you've caused pain or received pain, live through them, learn from them, and then move forward.
Nice. Nice. Marianne?
Forgiveness is, for me, it's just an action because we are in a sinful world. So we're going to have to constantly have the action of forgiveness because we're imperfect. We are made perfect in his image, but we are imperfect in so many areas. So it's
Right.
like we have to actively forgive people around us. But we also have to remember to look in the mirror because we're a person too.
I like that. Don't you took my line, Marianne. I was going to say that. But anywho.
There's Holy Spirit then.
But we have Crystal. She's in the background, and here she is. Hey, oh, look, they're all coming in. Crystal, Katina's here. Hi, Katina. Hi, ladies.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So you're on time. So let me ask you, Crystal, since you joined first before Katina, what does forgiveness look like to you? What is that to you? What have you heard about it?
Wow, that's a heavy thing to come into, right? Forgiveness to me is not, and this is something that we've learned also in our church, that I really think that changed my view of things, is when someone doesn't owe me anything anymore.
Mm.
They don't owe me an apology. They don't need to pay me back. They don't owe me, whatever I gave to them in that made me vulnerable for them hurting me. They don't owe me any of that back.
So basically it has nothing to do with the other person. Is that what you're saying?
No, it doesn't, because honestly, if you know your wealth, then you won't need to beg for things back. So to me,
Right.
it's like a rich person say letting somebody borrow $5. They know that they have plenty more where that came from, and maybe a source that could be paid back to them in another way. So they're not going to beg that other person for that $5 back. For what? They're not
I
missing.
never looked at it that way. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Katina, you're next. Let me bring Tiffany on. Okay. Tiffany, we're talking about forgiveness and what it means to us. So, what happened? Okay. Yeah. Darn internet. Okay, Katina, what is forgiveness to you?
Well, first I want to say, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's first a loaded question. And then, but secondly, I think forgiveness is what I'm learning for myself is when the supposed offender or whatever like that, or the situation no longer stings, where I've been able to walk through the process, that if I return back to a situation where there was an offense and there was some release or whatever had to go on, that is no longer a sting associated with it, that I know that all the pus and all the stuff has come out. I think forgiveness is a process. I think it's a choice. I think it's a constant choice. I think it's a painful choice, but also I think it's a powerful choice. I don't know if that's answering your question, but I know it's a choice that always has to do with the big word process, that you can never let go of, because your soul will be processed even from one instance to truly letting go and walking in a place of forgiveness. That's biblical.
listen, this is called speaking our truth. So, we're having a conversation, and every contribution is um basically what each of us believe. I know there's usually a right or wrong, there's usually this and a that, but this show was created for everyone to, just bring their 2 cents, bring their story, you know, um, basically for the next person who may be listening and needs it. So, asking a question like forgiveness, I know what we've been taught in church, I know
Right.
what we've been taught through experiences, but they each, because of who we are individually, we tend to take something and then interpret it in the way we can understand. So, asking a question like, what is forgiveness? Yeah, I get it, is when you let go and all that, but to
Right.
you, what does that mean? So thank you so
Right.
far, ladies, for answering that. Tiff, before we move on, we want to hear from you, honey. What is forgiveness? You're on mute.
Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hey, Tiff.
Um, hi, Tasha. um, what is forgiveness to me? Well, honestly, we don't. I haven't 100% understood forgiveness in its entirety, only because I feel like she just said, the young lady, it's a process. Like it just doesn't happen overnight, and it goes. It's like by circumstance. You
Mm,
know, I know for myself personally, there's people that I thought I had forgiven, but I was reminded that I haven't forgiven them. And there are people that, you know what, I forgive you, I love you. But I also understand that, like for the people that I've forgiven and I love, there's a situation where I realize that I honestly, wholeheartedly decide to forgive them. And I ask God to help me. And it's like, okay, I forgive you. So moving forward, I'm going to work on my forgiveness with you. I think you have
mm,
to work at forgiveness. It's not like
it's a process.
you just don't wake up one day and say, "Oh yeah, hey, I forgive you." I'm not gonna never ever feel a certain type of way about something you may have done to put me in a position where I could not forgive you.
I
So
like
yeah, I
that.
definitely. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Were you done? Because I'm over here jumping the gun.
No, I'm done. I'm done. Well, we
Okay,
know we can
so
all go on and on, but I'm done.
there was something that you said, and I'm going to use that as a segue into, you know, into the topic. And one of the things when it comes to forgiveness, one of the people we tend to overlook when it comes to the letting go and, choosing to love. Hi, Michelle. Michelle said to forgive is to choose love, even if it's just self-love at the moment. Yeah,
That's good.
one of the people we tend to forget to choose to love on because of their mistakes is us. And with that, ladies, hey Melanie, hi Priscilla, hey Josiane, Kimberly, what's going on? I have a clip. And I think this clip is perfect for us to kind of pick apart for our discussion. So let me get all this technical stuff together. Share as it. Uh, oh wait, y'all. Okay.
And somebody watching this message, you're so hard on yourself. You're so hard on yourself, but you didn't know. You didn't know you're not supposed to look for eye candy. You're supposed to look for fruit production. You didn't know. You didn't know. Don't date until you know your calling, so that in marriage we can be an answer. You didn't know. You didn't know. You didn't know that maybe the reason you're bored, that doesn't mean you need a boo or a bae. It just means that you've allowed your gifts to go to sleep. You didn't know. You didn't know. You didn't know. And you're so hard on yourself. And you're like, man, I should have did this. And if I wouldn't have done that. And if I didn't do this, you are so hard on yourself, but you didn't know. The reason I'm doing this message and this series is because I didn't know. I wish back in college When I was struggling, there was some series that I was aware of that could help me and let me know you can be young and unashamed and sold out for Jesus and pure and a man. I didn't know I needed to have content and sermons that would inform me. Just because you're struggling with pornography, this does not mean you're not saved. You've been doing that for years. You just accepted Christ 2 weeks ago. You're having withdrawals. This is normal when toxicity is leaving the body. I wish I had that. This is why I'm doing it. This is why you have to stop running from your fights. Stop running from fights. Because if you keep running from fights, your generation, a generation after you, will have to deal with your unfinished combat. I need everybody right now. I'm just feeling this. Everybody right now, can I get you to drop this in the room? I forgive myself for all the times ignorance made a choice. Let's say it again, because you're blaming you, but you were ignorant of this information. You chose off romance, not to advance. Now you have new information, which means you got options. You no longer just have to circle A. You can circle B because I got education biblically. You can circle C because now you got wisdom. I will no longer hold myself hostage. I will forgive myself. I will forgive myself for ignorance making a choice.
Did you ladies see that?
I did.
Oh,
You did,
it
right?
was choppy.
It was choppy.
No.
So,
Yeah,
so what do you think? What do you
I
think?
wrote down.
What did he say?
Is that an open question to the?
Yeah, that's an open question.
Okay.
Just we can go ahead and just tackle it. Based on I chose this first of all because there were things that he said that I kind of related to when it came to self-forgiveness. And so I said this would be perfect. So with that being said, ladies, you have the floor. What aspects of this conversation should we dive into?
Uh-oh. Everybody froze. Okay.
No.
You all froze for a second.
I wrote down the ignorance made the choice. I never thought of it that way. And I wrote it down so that I don't forget that the choices I've made in the past, even though I'm actively forgiving myself now, there are many choices I've made in the past that affected my future, but I made them out of not knowing who I was, or I should say whose I was at the time. But the scripture does tell us he works all things together for our good, so he's going to help mold us and shape us, even in that ignorance, to push us to a better place.
Amen.
So I thought that was like an amazing just statement that ignorance made the choice.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye as well. You wanted to say something, Tasha?
I just wanted to say I took away from that he preaches patience and patience with oneself. I think it's easy for us as humans, often, especially in the 21st century in a technology world, to want things to be instantaneous. Yeah. We're so used to having immediate results that oftentimes we forget to be patient. And like the example he had used about being addicted to pornography and still being saved, you've been you've been addicted to pornography for however many years, you just got saved 2 weeks ago. So to expect yourself to be delivered from that almost instantaneously because you made a choice in wisdom to give yourself over to Christ is almost unrealistic. And the same is said for forgiving yourself for choices and methodologies you've practiced over a long period of time. Once you've been enlightened to other ways of living and you've made the choice to change, to expect yourself not to backslide and then be really hard on yourself when you do is part of what stops us from allowing ourselves to forgive ourselves.
Yeah, that wow.
It was a mouthful. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like,
yeah,
still like recovering.
I unpacked a lot. I apologize.
No,
but
I was like, I just took it all in.
But I think that's important. I think one of the things that I know I can't speak for anyone but myself. I know one of the things that I tend to be harder on myself than anyone else.
Me too.
Right.
I can see the good in others, but almost never see the good in me.
Right.
Me
So
too.
the reflection when I look in the mirror sometimes is cloudy. The lens through which I look at myself is completely different from the lens through which I look at others. And
Exactly.
you have to be able to have some sort of introspection in
Exactly.
order to allow yourself to forgive. Because forgiveness, I think the young lady, Crystal
Mhm.
said that forgiveness is for yourself.
Mm.
When you forgive, you're not forgiving someone for them, you're forgiving someone for yourself. So you're not burdening yourself with carrying around those ill feelings.
Wow.
You
That's
have to
true.
learn to
Yeah.
let it go.
And I think that's, you mentioned the word introspect, and I think that's key to the whole self forgiveness thing. You know, we're human. At the end of the day, we are human. As much as we are striving for this better person, or as much as we find ourselves delivered from a certain situation, there's always that lingering. You know how our past always tends to want to linger and poke its nose into our present, our future, all our good things and stuff like that. But one of the things when I was thinking about self forgiveness is that you have to somehow face it. You know, whatever that thing is, that situation that you were in, one of the ways you can help, even if you don't know that what you're actually doing is self forgiveness, I think the whole process involves you. Like when it comes to relationship, I'm going in the direction of relationship, because it's usually relationships that we get into and affects us severely. You know, it's usually, relationships that tend to mess with our character and who we are. So, when it comes to self forgiveness, even if you don't know what it is, I advise, right? Let's say and this is why it's good when you are in a toxic relationship and you come out of it, it's good to take time, right, to reflect on what made that relationship toxic. And then that's when you'll find, like, well, dad, maybe, maybe I this, maybe I that, I did, like, for example, with the relationship I am working through right now, one of the things that I had to do was face my own part, my own doing in the relationship. Like, for example, no one put a gun to my head and said, you are going to get in a relationship with this dude right here. No one put a gun to my head and said, oh, you are going to stay with him after he just cursed you out, after he just put his hands on you. No one did that. You understand? But it's stuff like that we need to somehow, swallow that lump, or, and just say, well, tag, maybe is there a trend in me picking these kind of guys? Is it, oh my
Yes.
God, like, why did I stay? And within that, next thing you know, it starts like, oh wow, maybe, oh my God, maybe there's something in my past that I didn't heal from. Oh my God. And it's within that you would automatically, I believe, come to a point where you're like, you know what? I gotta let go. I gotta, you know what, Nora? And I did this for myself. I said I was ignorant. Like the guy said, that's why it stood out to me. Like, tag, I was so ignorant. Thank God I know what I know now. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget to pat yourself on the back to encourage yourself, like you are not still that same person. But
Right.
at the
Right.
same time, you're saying, tag, how do I not be that person again? And
Hmm.
part of it is just admitting some things, some hard truth, so to speak. Y'all don't let me run my mouth, y'all, because I will.
Well,
I,
We're
de-
all in
I
this
definitely
together.
agree. I
We're all
definitely
in
agree
this.
with what you're saying.
I
As
agree too.
far
I
as
think a big part
yeah.
of that, a big part of what like you're saying, I struggle a lot with self forgiveness. So that's why it all just resonates so much with me, because a big part of that is being realistic about your identity, right? And realistic is not overconfident, but it's also not overly, I guess, false humble either, or like,
Mhm.
you know, demeaning of yourself. And I think that that was something that people don't talk about as much. Like, you could be real about yourself and say, I just didn't know any better and at that point, and I'm not like, not that you're not responsible, but you can't hold yourself responsible or to the same standard that you hold yourself to now if you really didn't know. You really didn't know. Like, if we had, I don't have kids, but I'm sure people that have kids, and like, I think about it, me as a daughter, like, as a kid, you don't expect a kid to know certain things and then hold them to the same
Right.
accountability or responsibility as someone that is 20 years old. You don't expect the same thing, so you wouldn't punish them the same way. So why are we okay with doing that to ourselves when we didn't know any better?
Very
You know,
true.
and then when we do know better, now we have to be real with ourselves enough to say, I didn't know any better now, but I cannot stay ignorant because now I learned. So
Right.
now I have to move forward. Like, it's like that constant balance of knowing who you are right now and holding yourself accountable for what you know and for
Well,
what you don't know. You
Maya
know,
Angelou said, "When you know better, you do better."
Come on now.
yes,
So
I
when you know the person I was at 21 isn't the person I am at 46. So the choices that I
Exactly.
made at 21 definitely help inform the person I became at 46. But like you said, you take those lessons and you allow yourself to acknowledge that you're not infallible
Right.
yes,
Right.
and also not, and also
or that
not
you're
hold
fallible.
yourself, not be so critical of yourself for not knowing something.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, if you just didn't know, you just didn't know.
Right.
You didn't know that you were valuable. You didn't know that you were beautiful and you didn't need somebody else to validate that. You didn't maybe know that,
Mhm.
you know, somebody else didn't need to provide certain things for you, that you can provide them for yourself. You didn't know that. And maybe our parents teach us sometimes things, or generational things or cultural things teach
Yeah.
us things that we really believe, because there are a lot of cultures that teach certain things, especially if we're talking about the narrative within women, and within women in romantic relationships, in like relation to a man, or even in relation to each other. Like, there are
Yeah.
certain
The
things that,
relationships. Yeah.
yeah, we a lot of cultures are taught, like, you can't tell people your business, you can't make it known that you're going through things, you know, because that's not womanly, and that's not strong to cry, and it's
Right.
not strong to, you know, struggle with certain things. But that you believe that at one point, but then when you learn better, now it's like, no, those are things are not true. But I believed it at a time, and the people that taught me that with the best intention, you know.
Mhm.
But now I'm learning better, and I'm doing better because I know better, like you said.
Yeah.
You do. You gotta. You
I,
have to
I
do
I
that.
remember like there's a scripture I think in the book of Acts when Stephen, when he was being stoned, and you know that he was used as a mighty man of God, and while he was being stoned, he saw the vision of Jesus standing at the right hand of God. But one thing that always stuck out to me was what he said. He said, Father, don't forgive them; they know not what they do. And for him to come to such a point while being bludgeoned and stoned to death, that he had so much love and so much forgiveness for people who were literally stoning him to death. um, that stuck out to me as a principle to use, that God has helped me so much in releasing people, to really understand that, you know, they really don't know what they do. And then even like how Crystal was saying, how we have, many of us, we've all have been conditioned in some form or fashion of holding things in and not forgiving ourselves. Not, we practice more being critical of ourselves and not self-loving, than we do anything else, even as whether culturally, as in our own ethnic culture, or just as Westerners, you know. But one thing that scripture has helped me a lot is, kind of going back to what Crystal was saying, that I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that I was holding this unforgiveness of myself, you know, to myself, and not really releasing it to God. Like, oh snap, I didn't realize I was being this critical to myself.
Mm-hmm.
God, where did I get
Mm-hmm.
this cycle, these thoughts from? And then like how Nora was saying, going back to my childhood, oh snap. And all these, okay, God, I'm releasing it now. I didn't know what I was doing. And one other key that has helped me a lot too is realizing, oh my God, Father, you love me, God. And I'll say it out loud. I say it as a decree, and I'll even hug myself, but allowing to know that God is in me. I'm His temple. That God, you love me so much. I forgive myself, and I receive your forgiveness. I receive your love, and I just take a moment and and let it be a moment that I'm just coming one with this forgiveness. And it's definitely a process. It's not normal in the natural world to always constantly forgive. But one thing for sure, it helps to build that intimacy between you and God, and you and forgiveness, and clearing the mud that gets accumulated, or the mud that's already there that you never even knew, of why I keep stumbling over this crap over and over and over again. And it's the need for forgiveness and the processing this crap out, And so, like my sister said, she said how he's different now at 46 than at another age. I feel the same way too. I feel like I'm just getting started with all this stuff, but yet being aware of it, but kind of like going through the trauma of life, and suddenly now needing to catch up.
Sometimes
of like, I got so much stuff.
Yeah, you got to walk through the journey to be able to recognize the struggle. I can tell you a million ways to do something, but if you don't experience it for yourself, I'm struggling with that now with my 17-year-old. I try to guide her all the time. She's so bullheaded. She's like, "All right, Ma, I got this. Do you got this?"
Wait a couple years. Right.
You think back to how we were when we were younger. We did the same thing.
We did.
Oh no, I'm 17. I'm about to graduate from high school. I'm about to be 18. I'm grown. I got
and that goes back to the whole ignorance thing.
Yep.
Not knowing, and that's why, oh my God, that's why first of all, it's very important, ladies who are on this panel, ladies and men who are watching, it's very important that we open our mouths, that we tell our story. First of all, like my goal for one of my goals for these conversations is, first of all, for people to hear other people speak in such strength from situations that could have took them out, crippled them, in order to empower them to now speak, because it's within our stories that that light bulbs go off, because let me tell you, I was telling Marianne before we went on, that my issue was ignorance. I didn't even know, I said it in the beginning, I didn't even know self-forgiveness was a thing. First of all, we need to realize that we need to as when we are working on forgiving others, to remember first and foremost, we are somebody too. And I think that goes to Crystal's point. When you value yourself, you are someone too. Don't forget about you. When you are in situations that hurt you, however degree, I can't tell you what hurts, but when you find yourself in certain, don't forget that you are somebody. I feel like I need to say that like 100 times. Like, you are somebody. I am someone too. So when you need to forgive someone, make sure that someone is also you. You know what I mean? But talking about self-forgiveness and all that, what just came to my mind to ask is, how do you even forgive yourself? Like, what does that even look like? Is it like a mantra? Do you look in the mirror and you constantly speak to yourself? Like, what does that even look like, self-forgiveness?
I think it's different for everyone. I don't think it looks the same for me as it looks for Tiffany.
Okay, so tell me how it looks for you.
I agree.
For me, it's about, I think I spoke to this before at the top of the broadcast, is just being introspective. Having the ability, and not everybody does, but having the ability to see a situation from outside of myself, remove myself from the situation, place someone else in it, and ask, if this were someone else, would I behave the same way? Would I be willing to forgive? Acknowledging the role you play and why you're struggling with whatever situation you're struggling with, friendships, familial relationships, romantic relationships, not taking a job, whatever the choice is. Acknowledging the part that you played, acknowledging the choices that you've made that gotten you to where you are today, and just allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to say that it's okay to have made the mistake. I'm not a malicious person. I didn't do it in malice, out of malice. And I have to be able to walk away and forgive myself. I'm sorry, the young lady who just spoke about the stoning, Stephen being stoned. Katina had said earlier, it's all about a relationship with God. And if you have a relationship with God, to know God is to know yourself. So it really is, you have to be open-minded enough to allow yourself to see things from all angles and tell yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. Even if those mistakes are yours, even if those mistakes or even if you're the one who has received the negative effect of it, it's okay to.
Can we do something? I don't know how effective this is going to be, but I'm willing to try it. Can we do like a little role play? Because I'm someone like you have to break it down for me, like down for me. And so since relationships, we've all been in a relationship. Some of us were all in a relationship. We've all had different type of experiences. And since relationship is usually the thing that tends to mess with us when it comes to forgiveness, I want to do a little role play. I want to be the person who is hurt, right? And I'm coming to y'all. Y'all are, I'm not saying your counselors, but y'all are my friend. Y'all know me. Y'all feel me.
Yeah.
So I want to be the one who's hurt. And I'm coming to you ladies, and I want you to talk to me. I want you to coach me on self-forgiveness based on what it is to you, how it worked for you. Ask me questions. Can y'all do that? Can you ask me questions? And let's see how that go. And we can stop if I feel like it's not being effective. Can we do that?
So wait, you are the person that
I'm hurt.
has been
I'm
offended?
hurt.
Okay, you're hurt by what someone did to you or said to you.
Yes. I was in a relationship, and I'm coming to y'all, and I'm hurt. But the whole point is to show me how to forgive myself. I don't know, questions you may ask, what comes to your mind like that. Okay, can we do it? Or someone else wants to be the hurt?
Okay. Oh, wait.
No,
I have a question. First and foremost, if someone hurt you, right? You're saying, how do I forgive myself, right? I feel like you're skipping a step. It's like, okay.
Okay, well then talk to me.
Like,
that's
okay,
what I
like
want.
why do you feel like, okay?
Okay,
what
first,
can
I come into the room first? Can I come in hurt first? Okay.
Okay, go. I thought you came in already hurt. I thought you was hurt already.
No, we haven't. She's
My
character.
bad.
She's getting into character.
Like, hey y'all. Oh my God, I can't. Not another moment. I can't be with him anymore. It's just a constant fight, struggle. Oh my, mind you, this is me for real. Like in my time past. Oh my God, like he keeps what he says to me. They're so hurtful. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I want to leave, but I can't. And then I don't know. Please, y'all, please talk to me.
Do you believe what he says about you is true?
That's a good question.
I haven't even thought it. I get so frustrated. I don't even think about. I don't even have time to think about that. But it's like it just sounds so. It's all I keep hearing. That's all I keep hearing. And so I guess a part of me started believing in it because I don't want to talk to anyone anymore. I don't feel like going out anymore. So I guess if I'm to answer your question, I guess I am starting to believe it.
But Nora, how long have you had this sense? How long have you had these red flags? How long has God been showing you, or you've been sensing these red flags in this relationship?
And you know what? Like, you would ask me that, right?
Yeah.
Like now that I think about it, in the beginning I was so in love with him. I just wanted to be with him. I couldn't even think of red flags. Now that I think about it, I do remember, there were times when, he didn't come home, but because I was so in love and I just wanted to be with him and I thought he would change, I didn't even think of it.
Well, would you be willing, to be just honest and transparent with the Lord and just go back to those times when he was showing you to see where you could have missed it?
But then what do I do? With that kind of information?
Can you ask yourself,
Ask.
are you comfortable right now?
No, I'm not.
Are you
No, I'm
happy?
not. No,
Are
I'm
the
not.
people around you being affected by your unhappiness or your uncomfort?
That's a great question.
I have I have children, but
Have your
I'm
children expressed any uncomfort with you?
they're so young, but there were times that I would just sit and think like, why did I just snap on them and they didn't even do anything wrong? I just snap. I just find myself constantly, pushing them away, yelling, and then afterwards feeling so bad that I did that.
That sounds like
So,
a lesson learned to me.
yeah. Now, how did you feel once you snapped? How did they respond? And how did you feel about their response?
Like they would leave because they had no choice but to leave because I'm yelling. But afterwards I felt, and you know what? It's that I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling that I feel after experiencing something like that. I do find myself, come to think about it, I do find myself feeling horrible after yelling at them, but then it's like I do it again. I do it again. But I never thought of that. I do hate yelling at them and being like this.
That's called cyclical behavior.
Mm.
You're drawing your children into a cycle of behavior that you're experiencing with someone else.
You're not breaking the curse.
You're not breaking the curse. You're perpetuating the curse.
Yeah, you're teaching them you're teaching them the kind of person that you should deal with. And you're teaching them this is how you're going to respond when you deal with this kind of person. And then they'll be doing the same thing to their children.
Ask yourself where you want to see yourself in a week from now.
So this self-forgiveness, do I leave him alone? Is it just all about leaving him alone? Is it about leaving him alone, or is this something that I have to do right now with me first before making that decision?
You said when
not
you
just
first
with
started,
you.
you were so in love with him. Were you in love with you
Or your children.
or your children?
Or God.
Okay.
Or your future.
Cut. But no, this, you know what? I started feeling, besides, the familiar feelings that come with this type of scenario. One of the things, I do want to point out, one of the important things about self-forgiveness is the generations that come after us. It is something, it is a learned behavior when we do not forgive ourselves. And there was a question that was asked that, when I did realize it changed everything, and that was loving myself. If I am to say, how does self-forgiveness begin? Even before the self-reflection, the introspection, is about loving yourself, loving ourselves, valuing ourselves enough to not allow any kind of feelings that is not comfortable to stay.
Right.
You know,
That's a good
know,
point.
Yeah, I like that.
Having the feelings versus allowing them to stay.
Yep.
I think that a lot of times we don't realize that You know, we're human. We're going to have these feelings. It's okay. But you have to learn how to acknowledge them and identify with them, and learn how to not be comfortable with them, and understand what to do to not be comfortable with them, to get rid of them.
To Tiffany's point, discomfort is a great stepping stone for change.
That's vulnerability.
No one wants to stay in a situation where they're uncomfortable. That's what will incentivize you to change the situation you're in now. If you find yourself being uncomfortable in this relationship, and then projecting those negative feelings onto others, then that's probably a good sign that it's time for you to change something.
Right.
That could be changing yourself. That could be you either change the person or you change the person.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? Me and Nora were having a conversation earlier this week, and I had a situation happen in my family, and there were different positions to play in a situation when it comes to forgiveness. So you have the offender, you have the person who has been offended, and the people who are victims of the person who has been offended, right? And there's I know an offender, well, a person who has a victim, but our family has been experiencing, the wrath of the victim not forgiving themselves, not loving themselves, not understanding that, okay, you are a victim and you've been hurt, but you have not done the work to get over being a victim. So now the kids are experiencing your issues, the wrath of you being a victim. I'm experiencing, our family as a whole is experiencing your wrath as being a victim. So now it's like, you don't want to, because when it comes to being a victim, you have to proceed with caution. You can't just say, oh, get over it, you be fine. But at some point, you do have to say, how do you work on getting over it? Because if you don't, you're not going to be fine. And nobody else around you is going to be fine. And you're going to find your family members, your loved ones, your children, your spouse, your siblings, everybody's not going to be fine because you haven't did the work to get over it. So it's like, I think that with forgiveness, it's levels to forgiveness where you forgiving yourself, right? And you did the work. What if the person doesn't know God? What if a person doesn't know to go pray to know that Jesus Christ is your Lord, as my Lord and Savior? What if the person doesn't know that I can go to a church? Or what if the person doesn't know what the word says? Because everybody always says, God loves you, but if the person never read that, how do you reach a person? Even believe that, right? How do you reach a person to get them to understand that, listen, you got to forgive yourself, but you got to forgive where's your accountability, right? If someone hurt you, right? How can you make the person that hurt you human? How can you, because you along with forgiveness, you have to forgive yourself, but you also have to forgive other people. If you've been hurt, you have to work on forgiving the person that offended you or hurt you or made you a victim, right? Because eventually, like one of my loved ones, they're a victim, and everybody's experiencing them being a victim, and we're trying to make them human and understand them. Like, okay, they've been hurt and they're offending me because they've been hurt, and I'm trying to love them, but they keep hurting me because they've been hurt.
Right.
But I have to be strong, and I have to talk to somebody and have positive inspiration about this. I have to love myself and know that, okay, I have to be strong and I want to lash out on them because they're offending me, but I can't do what they're doing to me, which was done to them. It's like a full circle of everybody has to learn how to forgive everybody. And if somebody kills somebody, we have to be able to make the person, the suspect, we have to make them human and forgive them. Like who said young lady Christina, she mentioned when Christ said they know not when they break the stuff what they do. Sometimes people are so deep in there. Just because you're of age does not mean that you're of knowledge. You might not even know at 50 years old that what you're doing has hurt 20 people or 5 people or 100 people. You're just doing what you normally done, that you normally seen. So with forgiveness for yourself, If you forgive yourself, you learn how it affects other people, and you understand the importance of it not like passing down to the next generation.
And you know what, Tiffany, what you just said is spot on. And the purpose of this broadcast is, you know how you just talked, what you just said, in order to direct to somebody else, to in order to forgive them. The purpose of this broadcast is to take everything you just said and to now redirect it
Back
towards
to
yourself.
yourself.
Exactly. Um, like we can go on and on. Like this is one of those topics we cannot even treat in just like
One
one
session.
hour. Is it's very sensitive because even the role play that I did, I was like, all right, let me stop
Right.
before I unleash.
You're a true actress.
And let me tell you, if I'm going to be transparent, the fact that I had to stop before I started saying just showed me that maybe I have some more self-forgiving
It's too
that I
real.
need to do.
Yeah.
It's still a little
Still very
sensitive.
raw. Yep.
Right. We want, when it comes to any form of forgiveness, we want to come to the point where when you touch that scar,
It
that
doesn't
it's no
still affect you.
longer a wound,
No.
that is no longer, sensitive.
Open,
You understand?
sensitive,
Yes.
not winsome. Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said, I wanted to spend these last few minutes, right? Let's say someone out there right now watching needs self-forgiveness. Like they need it. They need it bad, and that's why they're listening. So I would like for each of us to just take like 30 seconds to speak to that person, whatever it is that comes to your heart to say to that individual. Who wants to go? Who wants to go first? You want me to choose somebody? Go ahead, Tasha. You go first.
Yeah, she always got something nice to say.
Lord of mercy. I would just say to that someone that it is important to be self-aware. It is important to be accountable to yourself, and it's important to know your worth and to know that God has a plan for you. My mother always says that when you're in doubt, you pray to God and you ask him to lead, direct, and guide your wisdom, guide your thoughts, and guide your heart. And allow yourself to make mistakes and learn the lessons from them. Forgiveness means nothing if you haven't learned the lesson.
Nice.
You have to learn the lesson from what you've been through.
Nice. Katina?
Well, kind of similar to I'm sorry, the sister before me said kind of piggybacking on that is to be definitely self-aware, but also to come to the place to realize to forgive yourself also is coming to a place to realizing that you may be in a place of denial, and that denial could have to do with self-protection, because you maybe have had to protect yourself, your heart, your whole life, that you haven't come to the place of realizing that I need to forgive me because I have to do more to protect me, and just to be transparent with that, even if it's just a little bit. And even on the practical side, if you don't know Jesus yet, if you don't know the Lord yet, if you know nothing about church yet, there's still Amazon, there's still books to go and look just in the basic principle, how do I forgive myself? What are practical ways? Journaling is a way. This such and such is constantly bothering me. Why is this bothering me? Go for a walk, get some air. When things open up, go to a garden, go to something practical and natural to get you out of your element of pain, so that different thoughts can flow into you. But if you do know the Lord, we know we have prayer, and we know we can seek the Lord. Or if that would be the first basic simple ways just to get the ball going.
Nice. Crystal?
I think I would tell a person first to, and similar to what they said, is you need to get back to the root of who you are and what you were made to be. And whether you know the Lord or not, I really truly believe that the laws of the Lord are written on people's heart. So you don't have to know the Lord, but he knows you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And however you want to call him, however, you're made from something greater than you. And if you can just stop and think about what you're thinking about yourself, think about your internal dialogue, and just reconnect with who you were made from. And he will talk to you. Like he don't have to talk to you the way anyone else um talks, or the way a church talks, or the way a pastor talks to you. There's no special language, because you're from him. So he'll talk to you the way you need to be spoken to. And once you find that core of who you are, and you're able to see yourself in your creator, you're able to, like Katina said, go into nature and see the beauty of nature, and see that the same person that systematically and so detailed created this whole world also put you together to be who you're meant to be. Then you can start um just divvying up responsibility. Like what can you control right now, and what can you not control? And whatever you cannot control, it's because it's not your responsibility. Either you're taking on something that is God's responsibility, or you're taking on a responsibility that maybe somebody else is supposed to take over. And it's okay to let somebody else take their responsibility. We don't have to carry burdens unnecessarily for other people. And just like sort through that internal dialogue between you and your creator, and that, like, being mindful of that internal dialogue, and just taking a moment to quiet all the distractions, and just think about who are you, who do you belong to, and that creator that made you, what do they say about you? And now align all your thoughts with that.
Nice.
And that's it. It's a
Marianne,
process.
thanks, Crystal.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably end up being very similar. I think we all have the same message of you are a steward. You are a vessel unto the Lord. Even if you don't know the Lord, you are a vessel. And what fruits is that vessel producing is what you want to be aware of. Am I producing fear and anxiety? Am I producing hopelessness? Or am I producing joy and even long suffering, patience? Am I producing patience in awaiting? Am I extending the grace to myself? I just don't think we stop and realize what we are producing. So I think that's important. The Bible breaks it down for us. The fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. If you're not producing one of those, there's something off. And it's so important to have that personal connection with the Lord. People make fun of me all the time because they're like, you're so sassy with the Lord. I'm like, that's how he created me to be. I'm not going to filter the way I talk to him. If he accepts me for who I am, like, I'm not coming to him with attitude, but I'm going to come to him with a little, like, what's going on here? This is what you told me in your word. I just want to see the fruits of that. And he puts me in my place. I will tell you that. He convicts me when I am wrong. But that is the beauty of the relationship with my Heavenly Father. I can come to him in all things and just ask him to do a transaction. Even if you're like, I don't even know how to forgive myself. You could just be like, Lord, I know when I look in the mirror, I don't like what I see. Show me what you see. And that instant transaction, he's going to peel away the layers that the enemy has tried to blind you with. So just to be transparent with him, I think, is step one.
Nice. Tiffany? Are you on mute, Tiffany? No, she's not. No, we can't hear you. Well, I'll go while she's straightening.
Maybe her Bluetooth. Check your Bluetooth.
Yeah. Well, while she's working that out, Tiff, you on? Okay, something's wrong with her microphone. But everyone's point is on point. As a matter of fact, it's on point. Like everyone is coming from different directions, different paths, when it comes to any topic, including self-forgiveness. I think, in my opinion, the talking to that person, even talking to me right now, um, is to first, I think, recognize, we the biggest culprit of self-forgiveness is ignorance, right? We all agree on that one. So what combats ignorance is to get information, is for these things to be revealed to us, so that we can at least work on it. You know what I mean? So I would say, first of all, if you're not even aware of what's going on, again, for the fact that you are experiencing feelings that constantly put you in a place where you are not liking yourself, you are not liking the world around you, you need to please find someone that you can talk to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, then there's no way that you can help yourself. There's no way that you can even deal with these things. That's like I don't know if it's like the blind leading the blind or whatever, but you need to get with someone. Believers, please, believers, if you know the Lord, get with the Lord, or get with those people that the Lord have placed, that the Lord has placed in your life. For those who don't have a relationship with the Lord, you have friends that love you. Like enough to know that there is at least one person that loves you, that you can go to and talk to about what's going on within you. Even if you don't know, for the fact that it doesn't feel good, please, I'm encouraging you, talk to someone. Talk to someone, bounce whatever you're going through with someone, because that's what's going to start the self-forgiveness part. You cannot, I promise you, you can forgive everybody, everyone who has offended you. Let's say, in the perfect scenario, you are able to forgive everyone who has hurt you, and you guys are cool. But I promise you, until you go through that step where you forgive yourself, which will involve you facing your mistakes, facing the decisions that you have made in the past, it hurts, y'all. It hurts. The truth hurts. You know how to say the truth hurts? It does. It does, because it causes you to look at yourself in a way where it's like, dag, I did that. Oh my God. And you'll tend to want to like beat yourself up, like, dag, I'm so stupid in this. But please, this conversation is here to tell you, don't go there. You're
Don't do
not
that.
stupid. You're not, you're human. We all make mistakes. As a matter of fact, you're gonna keep making mistakes. How about that?
Yeah.
So please, know your worth, y'all. Know your worth. Know your worth. To that person who needs self-forgiveness, please get with someone who you love and let them, because they're going to tell you things that will build you up. Please listen. As much as you want to hold on to those negative feelings, please listen. Please listen. Please listen. And for those who have people around them, Tiffany mentioned, being a victim of victims.
Mm.
Please, those people who are with people that are experiencing these traumatic things, be patient with them. Be patient with them. Be there for them. Open your mouth, like, open your mouth. When I say speaking our truth, and you see the ads and the posts and stuff like that, it's for you to come on and tell your story, because there are people that need to hear you. There are people, those of us who are able to forgive ourselves, open your mouth. And with that being said, I'm gonna leave it on that, because again, I can go on and on and on. But the moral of the story of speaking our truth is, please, we need more people to come and just tell your stories. Just open your mouth. Just be transparent, because there are people out there that depend on your healing. And it's crazy. I'm not fully. How about I just found out that I need to go do some more self-forgiving, y'all? But You know, but the whole point is I don't claim to know everything. I don't have a script for this. But what I do know is that when people come together, when people come together, whether you think you're healed or not, when we come together and we start talking, there's power comes forth. And thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. You don't know it, but I'm getting a little emotional. But thank you so much for joining me. Tasha, I know you have another talk show that's started already.
It started 5 minutes ago. Okay.
Sorry if you want to go. But every remnant out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Sherry, Michelle, Eunice, Danielle, oh my God,
those comments,
Josiane. Oh,
a little
thank you,
dense,
ladies.
man.
Thank you so much. And we'll be back same time, same place, Sundays at 7 p.m. Next week, I have a treat for everyone. I'm hoping to have an all-guy panel up on here.
yes.
All guys, just me and them. So so please share this video. Someone who needs self-forgiveness, please share this video with them. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get the alerts when we go live. Anything else? Again, open your mouth. On that note, see y'all next Sunday. Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Thank you.
Of
Bye.
course.
Thank you. Bye. Woo!